Your Majesties, welcome back to this quick one. Trust you and yours are well and you loving yourself and others like always. Pardon the camera shaking, all right? I want us to talk about this real quick because the media is not drawing attention to it. And you know, whatever the media do not draw attention to, it's even the worst. Now, all our attentions are drawn to Palestine, to Israel, what is going on there. And a lot of us do not know that the motherland is suffering in one part still. All right, now, the real Holocaust is still going on in Congo and in Sudan. And I would want to say something little about what is happening in Congo and Sudan. We cannot say it enough because the real problem is always down there. And those who create it know themselves. All right, now there is zero coverage of what is happening in Congo and Sudan because there are some Congolese and some Sudanese that are complaining bitterly that when they try to post something online, sometimes they can't do it. Like, I don't know if there's something they're enabled in Sudan and Congo so that people do not create more awareness, and they only try to divert our attention. Oh, the worst that is happening right now is only happening in Palestine and in Israel. Mind you, life is sacred. Life is important. No life is to be taken. All right, but what I'm saying is that we also should look into Congo and Sudan and see that there is a game being played on the people. And of course, when things like this happen, it is women and children, the civilians, that suffer all this. Now, Congo, we know they have cobalt. And what the world is hunting, what the world powers, you know, them are hunting is their cobalt. Now, since they knew that right now they can't just go in and pick out their cobalt and go out, they use UN peacekeepers, they use those people, they're under disguise. Remember here when we talk about that truck that fell and gold was seen in the truck. So they are stealing the gold even secretly and tell the world that it's only cobalt that Congo have. Now, these secrets are exposed, and the Congolese agitated that UN peacekeepers should be sent packing or they should reduce their number. And they came out and said they are going to reduce the number of these peacekeepers. All right? But they have other things at hand. Okay? Now, that's what I keep talking about. When we do not love each other, we instigate problem amongst ourselves. The enemy take advantage of whichever problem we might have with our brothers. Now, they are using Rwanda and part of Uganda, the terrorist group in these two countries. They are using them against the Congolese people. There is no peace. About 6 million people are displaced. A lot are unalived. Like what I gathered from, was it yesterday or so, 48 women are raped by day. And this is happening. It's happening. All right? And all this is a struggle for something. It's some people that are there that are trying to, you know, get something by force. All right? Now, in Sudan, it said that dead bodies are lying everywhere on the streets and no one can bury them. Why? Because if you touch them, you want to bury them, you yourself will be unalived. Just imagine that you are in a country and you're looking before your eyes, you're using your hand to destroy your own people. That of Sudan, it shows how the level of our stupidity even as a people. All these fights they are fighting is for resources. Do not get it twisted. It's for resources. You know, there are deposits of gold in Sudan. I'm going to show you clips soon. There are deposits of gold in Sudan. These people are after it. You see what Sudan produce a day. The gold produced. That's why you see these two generals fighting themselves, because they know anyone that takes the power is in charge of this. And Europe and America, the French government and all others around, they are just seated waiting. They don't want to intervene. They don't want to protect the citizens. They don't care. Then they are there just waiting to see how they destroy themselves, how brothers unalive each other, so that they, at the end, of course, they'll rush in to come and take the resources and go away. Or whoever wins at the end, they'll draw the person to themselves and start using the person to steal resources. But these two military generals, they don't care. You are unaliving people. Who will you lead? Who are those that you lead when you are taking their lives? Just imagine 6 million people unalived. So who are you leading? Are you going to lead the stones? Are you going to speak to the gold in the ground and they listen to you?
Since this post went viral, many of you have asked what is actually going on in Sudan. The headline is, on one side, you have the people of Sudan who want freedom, and on the other, you have military generals. Generals who are only interested in power, but the international community supported them. It's a 1-minute rundown on how we got here. In 2019, the Sudanese people overthrew the dictator, Omar al-Bashir, that had been in power for like 30 years. What came next was a transitional council, which was part civilian, part military. And the point was it was a transition to a civilian-led government, or a civilian government, which is what the people wanted. 2 years in, at the point when the military was meant to hand over to the civilians, the military overthrew the transitional council, which is essentially a coup. That was October 2021. At this point, the international community made a choice. They made a choice to deal with the military generals, Hemeti and Burhan, rather than listen to the civilians who were like, don't trust these guys, they're genocidal, don't do it. Hemeti and Burhan were working together against the Sudanese people. But once it came to them two being in power, they started fighting each other for the ultimate seat at the top. And that's what happened on April the 15th, 2023. They decided to start fighting each other, and the Sudanese people were caught in the middle. Tens of thousands have been killed, and over 4 million have been displaced. People are calling it a genocide.
أفضل دار أتكلم؟
ده هو الذهب الصافي.
بالإنجليزي.
This is a pure gold.
After it has been smelted and refined. Is it 3 nines?
4 nines.
4 nines. Good, good. So this is ready to be exported. This is 1 day refining or a few hours refining?
8 hours.
8 hours refining. 1 day, one working, one shift.
One shift.
What is the weight of each bar?
Almost 11 kilo.
11 kilo. God. How much is it in American dollar?
Silent genocide is about to get way worse, and yes, it will affect you. The rise of electric vehicles, the increased adoption of smartphones and renewable batteries have led to a silent genocide in Congo. If someone's indoctrinated and uneducated, they'll say, well, they don't care, and it has nothing to do with them. But with the world crossing global climate tipping points and food insecurity, geopolitical turmoil, and economic inequality in a globalized economy, having one country inefficiently run that has 2/3 of the world's cobalt supply that's in your phone could potentially fall into the wrong hands and jeopardize the global supply chain. That, coupled with the climate crisis continuing and massive pollution and ecological damage ensuing, causing tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of people to be misplaced and ultimately die, resulting in one of the greatest genocides this planet has ever seen, potentially the massive climate genocide.
So when we talk about genocide, I keep saying it. They only draw our mind to the Jewish genocide. And it can never be compared to what the African continent have suffered. It can never be compared to the genocide going on in the continent of Africa. I'm going to leave you with some clip, the plight of people, but Congo and Sudan. I would want you to leave your comment there. Just in all that you do, whatever you believe in, whatever you call on, do remember to also put Sudan in your prayers, in your meditation. Remember Sudan and Congo. There is a lot going on. Now that it's not, we don't want you anymore, we are kicking you foreign bodies out. They are using us now. They are using us to destroy us. They are using these two generals to fight and destroy the country. So by the time the country is destroyed and they are no human being, they'll come and take resources. They are using Rwanda and Uganda against Congo. So by the time they unalive everybody in Congo, they will come and take the resources in Congo. And you think they are going to leave the Ugandans and the Rwandans they're using? Those terrorist groups they are using to unalive others. At the end, they will come and unalive those groups. At the end, it is we Africans that will lose. That's what I'm saying. If we do not stop this,